So, my today topic is about productivity, but not the one that makes you wake up at 5 a.m. to run 5 kilometers, then do the avocado toast and what else do these people do. I've never seen them actually in the real life, but I heard they exist. This is more about, let's say, about understanding how do things actually work. When I get myself any habit, it is important for me to understand why should I be doing so or why should I be doing otherwise. And when I heard the podcasts of a man called Maxim, where do we go without Maxims, right? So he is also Maxim, and I heard him speaking about very interesting things that were interesting to me, and I hope that they would be interesting for you as well. So this is the official name of this presentation, but actually if I would have the full freedom of giving the name to this presentation, that it would be the cognitive fuel and the monkey. But if I put it to the Cox topic bank, I think you would never vote for that. But these are the two main things we will be talking about today, and these are the two main things I want you to take with you after the presentation. We will talk about the procrastination today, the 3 steps of learning, the term of the cognitive fuel, and the 2 systems in your brain. And we will start with the procrastination term, because talking about the productivity is actually, well, in this case today, when we are talking about the productivity, we are talking about fighting the procrastination. And for us, knowing who are we fighting, we have to know our enemy. So we will look at what actually the procrastination is. We actually tend to think that the procrastination is doing nothing, right? Just being there and having no result means doing nothing. But if we go deeper to that, as the procrastination is not about doing nothing, it's about doing so many things at a time, but still doing nothing and not achieving your goals or whatever you plan to do today. So procrastination is, instead of something important, the important X, doing the unimportant Y and feeling bad for that. So these emotions could be anger, disappointment, I don't know, sadness, whatever you feel. But if you're doing something unnecessary, unimportant, and you feel bad for that, that is called what is called procrastination. But why do we procrastinate? We all know that's a bad thing. Why do we do that? The answer might seem illogical. We will go deeper to understand why. But actually, we do procrastinate because we want to be smarter. And to understand that, we will look at the 3 steps of learning. As Morpheus said in The Matrix, there is a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. And he was right. Because actually this is the idea that comes from many, many years ago. It first, Buddhists came up with this idea that the learning has 3 steps. And only when you make the full cycle, you can say that you are able to use this knowledge in practice. And these 3 steps are learning, understanding, and practicing. Again, only when these 3 steps are done, you can't say that you have learned something, actually, and you are able to use it in practice. But the problem is that we have been taught, I don't know, maybe it's only my school trauma, but I think that not. We are taught that the learning looks like this. What does teacher usually say in the classroom? The teacher says, silence. Everybody has to be silent, listening to the teacher, right? And then you go to the university and you still have to be silent, listening for the lecture, you are looking through the Facebook feed, the Instagram feed, whatever, and there is like only 15 minutes from the start of the lecture. And you spend your whole time like this. Well, maybe we sometimes have seminars or something, but this is a very small part. And we spend our time at schools and at the universities like this, and then we are expected to know the things and to be able to do everything. As Neo has learned Kung Fu with 5 minutes, we are expected to do the same. And this is the moment where the problems come. Because instead of doing these 3 steps, we pretty often only do the first one. So we get the new information without having a time to understand it and without having an opportunity to practice that. And we move on further for getting a new kind of information. So what are the problems we get here? First of all, we spend a lot of time like this, working, we are doing some tasks, then we are reading some articles or we are reading news, then we come home, we take our phones and we are getting some more and more information. Movies, podcasts, whatever you're doing in the evening, you are keeping to give your brain the new information because you want to be smarter. It's logical. Many problems come from here. First of all, that is a good idea of the personal growth, and it is advertised everywhere now. That we have to be smarter, we have to be cooler than yesterday, you have to be comparing yourself to yourself yesterday. Perfect. But we end up knowing so many random things. For example, where the Madagascar island is, what language do they speak there, what is the capital city, how does their flag look like. We know random things like that, but we have no space to use it. We have nowhere to put this knowledge. Well, except quizzes, of course, right? While we have so much information in our brain, we don't have the space for doing the other things. And what is even worse is that we don't understand that there is already too much information, too much unnecessary information. And we keep pushing it every day more and more. There is a good saying that stomach is smarter than brain because stomach can somehow choose what to have in there. And brain never vomits the information we put there. Brain keeps everything inside. But the brain does protest otherwise. And this protest is losing the ability to focus, losing attention. Have you ever had a situation you are reading an article, you're reading the first line, the second line, and then you're reading the third line, and you find yourself, okay, I just read it through, but I didn't get what was the idea. You're reading it again, and you're like, I might have some problems because I'm not getting it. I can't focus on this text. Maybe that's a sign from your brain, but no, we are smarter than our brain, right? If we cannot anymore take the information from the texts, what do we use? We have our ears, right? We start listening for the podcasts, whatever audiobooks, just to keep becoming smarter every moment of our life, making sure that we do not waste our time. Have you ever been to the gym? Who goes to the gym regularly? I know you do. Who else? Sergey. Okay. Kira, beautiful. Sergey, if you go to the gym and you hit legs on Monday, do you hit legs on Tuesday, the next day?
Well, skip the lead game.
Well, I mean, I try not to, right?
Okay. Why?
Working out the same muscles becomes useless. You need to give them some rest.
Absolutely. That's what we have to be doing sometimes with our brain as well. But I'm not saying that you have to be using your brain on Mondays and Tuesdays are brain-free days. I'm talking about the shorter periods of the rest we have to be giving to our brain for ability to rest a bit. And talking about giving a rest and about our ability to solve some kinds of tasks, I would like to introduce you the term of the cognitive fuel, which for me is one of the most important terms to get from this presentation. And this is a pretty interesting thing to keep in mind in your everyday life and try to think about it, like from time to time. Where do I waste it? The cognitive fuel, does it sound easy term to understand or it needs explanation? What do you think? More or less, I think you understand, but not quite sure. Okay. When we do not get the task done on time, what do we say? We say that we had no time for that. Okay? Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't do that like with these 3 weeks because I didn't have enough time. And this, saying you have no time, is absolutely socially acceptable. We all sometimes do not have time for some things, and we say, okay, yes, I understand that you had no time. But have you ever had a situation, let's say you have a repetitive task you do monthly, time logging, for example. But sometimes you do it with half an hour, and sometimes it takes you 2 hours to do the same task. I think that all of us had these situations. And the idea is that maybe it is not always about the time we ran off. Maybe there is something more. Maybe there is a cognitive fuel, let's say amount of fuel we have for one day, our ability to think for one day. And if we spend it on then we do not have it left for something important. Some mathematics. 30 plus 40 is the same as 40 plus 30, right? But if we now imagine that these are 30 minutes of reading the Slack messages and 40 minutes of making the very difficult task that needs you to be fully concentrated. Then this is the moment when I want you to think about the cognitive fuel term and make the choice, because these two things are not equal in this situation. If you do the Slack messages in the beginning, then you waste your cognitive fuel, and it is more difficult for you to concentrate on that difficult task that has to be done. And if you do the difficult task in the beginning, then you can fully put your energy there and find a better solution, and then do the easier tasks that do not need that much energy and the cognitive fuel. I hope you get the idea. Try to think about this term next time you start your working day, because it actually makes a difference. But why do we tend to do the easier tasks first? There is a pretty nice explanation for that as well. But first, we'll take a look at the two systems we have in our brain. Well, they are called, actually the author, it's not my idea, the author called them this way, but I think that's a good way of explaining what these two systems are. The front end and the back end in our brain. So the first system is fast, and it doesn't go that deep. The second system is slower. It needs more cognitive fuel, but the second system is the one that gives us the best solutions and the best ideas. And there are two guys living in these systems. In system 1, we have a monkey living. And in system 2, we have the smart guy. The monkey is the one who likes reading for Slack messages, watching the funny videos online, eating good food, and whatever we like to spend our time on. The smart guy is the one who makes things to be done on time, to find good solutions, and stuff like that. And there is a control panel. And only one of them can be controlling you now. And guess who usually is doing that? Absolutely right. Yes. The monkey is usually on the control panel. Well, the explanation for that is easy and logical. We should not be hating monkey because the monkey is the one who tells, when we see a tiger, monkey is the one who tells us run. Or when you touch something hot, the monkey is the one who pushes your hand back. If the smart guy would be ruling and he sees a tiger, he would be like, do we even enjoy the life so much that we have to be running away? Maybe this would be a beautiful end. So there is a sense why monkey is ruling, but sometimes there is too much of monkey. Before we go further, I want to give you a very simple task. This is a cool task. And while you would be reading the text, I want you to pay attention on how does your brain work right now, on which thoughts do you have, the thought 1 and the thought 2. Read it. What was the first thought you have?
Balls.
Perfect. If we would be answering the question. Well, actually, this is a good enough answer as well, because monkey was the one who said balls. Well, for me, it was, when I first read it, I was like, 10 cents, the next task. That's what the monkey says. And the smart guy is like, no, I remember I heard something similar before. Let's take the bat for X and ball for Y, and then we start thinking that this is not $1.10. There is something more. So this is a very good example of how do these two systems work. The first reaction you had was the monkey reaction. And when you started thinking like, it's not that easy, that is the smart guy taking over the control panel. So I hope it's now easier for you to understand how does it work. And monkey is usually ruling, but there is a moment when monkey asks a smart guy to come to take over the control panel. And this is the deadline. So when we understand that, okay, something has to be radically done right now, like I promised to do this 3 weeks ago, and like now is the time when you see Maxim typing a long message or something. And then the smart guy comes, makes everything in the night from Friday to Monday, and you get the task delivered. And you promise yourself you'll never do that again. You will be now starting from now, I will be planning everything in advance. And I will be following my plan, right? Because I don't want that bad experience anymore. But when the deadline is over, the monkey comes back and you start watching the funny cats videos again. When the smart guy tells the monkey, look, we had this kind of trouble previous time, let's start in advance this time. Monkey doesn't tell the guy to f off. Monkey is smarter. What does monkey tell us? Monkey says, yes, it is a very important task. You know, it's such a big task. Let's first do all the small things we had, and then we will concentrate on the big task. And smart guy says, okay. And that's what you tell yourself. Okay, I'll do all the small tasks and then I will start with the big one, right? But what happens while you are doing the small tasks?
You run out of fuel.
Absolutely. This is the first thing. You run out of cognitive fuel. And the second thing is then while you're doing these 5 important and urgent small tasks, you will get 5 more urgent tasks. And that would be the never-ending cycle of never coming to that important task you had to do 3 weeks ago. I hope you got the idea. And that's it for today. I will give you no more information because from this presentation, I not only want you to learn what I have shared, but I also want you to understand the thing and practice that. So what we should be practicing? We have to choose wisely where to spend our cognitive fuel. Start doing that, or at least thinking on that. You will be already doing that. Control your monkey. When the monkey says, let's do the small tasks first, or the monkey gets the notification and you're like, oh, and then you spend 30 minutes in your phone, control the monkey and tell the monkey what to do. And bonus from me personally, please look out the window from time to time, because the worst thing we can do, which I also do as well, is while having a pause from your computer to grab your phone and keep getting the new information and giving no rest to your brain and no rest to your eyes. So next time, at least sometimes when you have a break, take a look at the window. Give your brain and your eyes some rest. There are some topics I didn't tell you about today, but which are also interesting. How to train the monkey, how to give your brain a true rest, how does our memory work, and what doesn't let us to make the changes. So maybe one day I will have a new Cox presentation on that topic, then I will add it to my Cox topic bank, and I hope we will talk about that as well. But today I would like to finish with some personal touch on this topic, because for me, I learned the things and I started practicing it, at least thinking about it. And for me, it ended up not only the productivity, but understanding how does my attention work and how does my, let's say, the same cognitive fuel work. And for me, this topic is not only about the productivity, but about being able to choose where do I put my energy, and do I prefer scrolling all evening or having a deeper conversation with my partner, hearing birds singing in the beginning of spring, or some other moments that matter more. Thank you. Questions?
Do you have any personal examples on where the like some habits where this specific topic helped you be, let's say, improve on it?
I'd say the first habit is the notifications. Because, okay, we all know that getting notifications during whatever is bad, but I never understood why. Now I understand why. It's easier for me, like when I put my phone with the screen on the table, I understand why am I doing that. And also starting a working day from, like, if on my way to work, I'm thinking about something, some difficult task, then I come and I start with this task. Or I know I have to do something complex, then I start with this thing, and then I read emails or whatever else.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Elina. Let's give her a round of applause.